Alright everyone, welcome back for another video on Legend of Mushroom. Today I want to try to beat that boss here. I tried many things and I'm very close to beat that boss. So the goal of that video is to change a few things on my character, which is a Plume Monarch, to try to find the thing that is the most efficient here. And by the way, the main goal of the video is not only to beat that content, but I want to try two different avians to figure out which one is the best for your damage on boss fights in PVE. So I have this one, which I was recommending before, against the strong super crowd combo, shroom combo and rage bonus. This is not my favorite one, to be honest, here on the affixes, because I would prefer to have a rage slash instead of super crowd combo. This is what I have on the second avian I want to try, which is the Cloud Drifter. Want to show that to you. It is right here. Rage slash against the strong, rage bonus and shroom combo. This is in my opinion the best thing to have, and I want to compare the two avians, alright? So let me first show you the build I'm using with my Plume Monarch and let's get into the content. So this is what I have. You can take some pictures if you want or just pause the video. So crit rate combo on the gear, skills to increase my attack speed because I'm using the Beast Bow, my boss damage, reduce my cooldowns, upgrade my crit damage, everything to increase my damage at the top, plus the clone to release more damage in the fight. That spore, of course, to increase the duration of the fight, and everything to increase my overall damage then. By the way, that book is more efficient than using the book to increase the boss damage. Don't ask me why, I don't know exactly why, but this is working like that, alright? Global combo at the prayer statue. I'm gonna show you my trait tree right after that. I'm using the crocodile, which is still the best mount to use in PvE to increase your damage on bosses. The Beast Bow, still the best one in PvE as well, to increase by a lot your damage, but you need some crits, and that boss has 60% ignore crit and 60% ignore combo. This is the reason why that content is very hard to beat. I'm using the Alien Dimension to increase my attack speed and reduce the damage I take. That is very important. The Midnight Firefly for now. I use these cards, not using the card to reduce my boss damage because I can still survive without using it. So I tried to increase a bit more my damage, and this one is increasing my skill crit and skill crit damage. This is not gonna make a big difference, but still, if I can have just a bit more damage somewhere, it can help. This one to increase my attack and my defense, and this one to increase my boss damage, okay? So let me show you the scrolls I have on my character. I put everything into my attack. The goal here is just to release a lot of damage. It is the best thing to put everything into the attack. You can try to put some things into the crit damage, you will have almost the same results, alright? But this one to increase your basic attack damage and the combo is very bad in comparison with the others. And the reason why I didn't put any points into the defensive stats here is because I can survive. I have a lot of base stats because I upgraded a lot of things since the beginning on my account, and I can survive without using that. Same comments about the souls. I think that I can reset these ones for the defense and the HP and put more points into the combo here, which would help a lot because the more the combo damage and the boss damage, the better. A lot in attack and a lot on crit damage. This is what I'm using here. And for my enchants, it could be way better. In fact, I focused a lot on my warrior class earlier, before. So my global combo here sucks a lot. I have less than 50%, and if I show you my counter damage, I have more than 107%. So imagine if I had the same with my archer class, that would be way better. By the way, you need to increase your basic attack damage resistance if you want to survive more in PvE. All enemies are dealing basic attack damage, and so the basic attack damage resistance is mostly for PvE, alright? So let me show you the trait tree I am using on the archery, very classic one. I went on the left for this node for the crit damage, then the combo damage and the crit damage here. On the right, I went for the base attack speed, the combo here, and the Gale Barrage to increase my combo damage over time. So these are the main things you need to focus on early on, alright? Then you need to go on the sorcery and increase this one on the left so you will have more attack after casting some skills. Then you want to jump on the fury and go on the right to get the crit damage, and if you have enough feather, try to upgrade the one on the left first so you have more attack speed and crit rate over time during the battle, and then get on the right and take the crit damage here and the basic attack damage there, alright? And on the Tame Beast and on the other trait trees, I went at the top to increase my basic attack damage resistance, which means that if I show you my stats, this is what I have. More than 100% crit rate because of the Beast Roll Bow, it's giving to me 20% extra crits, 100% combo, and very important thing here, it is useless to have more than 100% crit rate and combo because the boss will ignore 60% of your crits and your combos, whatever the amounts of crit rate and combo you have, okay? So no need to get higher than the 100%. Crit damage I have 8600. Then the basic attack damage resistance, very important in PvE content, 60%. The max is 80%, so if you can reach the 80%, you will be optimal in PvE, okay? This is my future goal, I will work on that. Finally, my combo multiplier, I have 50,000%, which is very high, and these are my main stats. A lot of attack, and you need crazy stats for that content if you want to push that boss, alright? Even with that, I'm not guaranteed to beat the boss, okay? So without further ado, it is finally time to try the content, alright? So I accelerated the time here so it's gonna go faster, better for the test. So let's get into the content and let's see how much damage I can release. With that same build, I'm gonna do multiple runs, like 3 or 4 different runs, because the result might vary depending on the number of crits and combos I will execute during the fight. So 10 seconds left, I'm half HP on the boss. And you see, I'm not that far away to beat the boss, alright? So let's do 2 or 3 more tries to see the variation before switching the Avian, and after that I will decide whether I want to stay with the Midnight Firefly or go on the Cloud Drifter. Sometimes, you see, I have more crits all of a sudden, which means that I have a better burst damage. And that time I had a bit more damage at the end than before. Okay, so let's retry. Or let's see if it is different that time. I feel like I had less damage to start with. But maybe I will have a better burst during the entire fight. And look at that, that was crazy here. So maybe I will beat the boss that time. Still have 2 seconds. Oh no, that was way better than before, but still not enough. So it depends on luck. If I have more crits during one run, the Beast Robo will release more damage, and I will beat the boss. But yeah, it can vary a lot, alright? So it is time to change the Avian. I have a lot of potions that I got for free by farming the content in the family, the Snowland Crisis. Here you can get some free if you are lucky during the week. So that is very nice to do some tests. So let's reset the Avian, use 1 potion, go on the Cloud Drifter, and let's retry with that. The Cloud Drifter is a yellow Avian, by the way, so you can increase a bit higher the level here. It's giving you a bit more base stats. I don't know why it is like that, but this is the truth. So sometimes the yellow ones are better than the legendary ones. Don't ask me what they are doing on the design, but yeah. So yes, in that case, it might be better to use that one. Let's see how it goes. And by the way, I have a Rage Slash that time instead of Super Crowd combo on the other, alright? So I need to deploy the Avian, of course, if I want to be efficient in the content. Let's deploy it, so let's get back in here. And let's retry. Let's see if there is a difference and how big is gonna be the difference. So the Cloud Drifter is gonna give me my cooldowns faster during the run, which means that normally I should have more damage at the end, right? So for now it is pretty close, okay? I had almost the same result as before, so nothing is really changing here. Let's redo a couple tries to see if at the end there is a real difference or not. I feel like I had a very bad start that time. Now I have a better burst after casting a few skills again. 5 seconds left. Okay, that was my best attempt so far, so maybe it is a bit better with that Avian, but it seems to be very close. So is there a best Avian in game? Once you have the correct affixes on the Avian, I would say that maybe you will have a tiny more efficiency using an avian than another one, but the difference is not that huge in fact. You can see that through here. I had almost the same using the two different avians. Alright, one more try and then I will try to change a few things on my stats. Just to see if I can have a better efficiency in that content. I want to change the owl avian here. It is giving to me some attack speed, which is great for the Beast Robo artifact to proc more crits and more damage over time. But if you check the stats of the boss here, you can see the stats normally. I don't even remember where are the stats. Wait, it doesn't matter. Normally we had a button. Okay, right here. My bad. So you can see the stats of the boss. He has a 200% crit resistance. So maybe using the snake pal would increase my damage, alright? So yeah, look at that. 60% ignore crit, 60% ignore combo, and the skill crit damage. You can see what is he doing. Basic attack multiplier, so he's doing a lot of basic attack. I never paid attention to the combo and counter multiplier. Whatever. So you can see the stats here, and damage resistance 36%, so it might be a good idea to reduce the damage res of the target. I am not sure about it. But with your class skill, normally you are reducing the damage resistance of the target for the combo or whatever you are using, so it doesn't matter. Let's go with the snake instead of the owl, and let's retry to see if there is a difference. Let's go. Don't think that the difference will be huge. Normally it's almost the same. I already tried that in the past, in fact, so I know that normally the results should be a bit close. Or maybe it is better. I feel like I have more damage than before the time. I was even closer to beat the boss, so in fact the crit resistance, even if the target has only 200%, helps a lot. Or maybe it was just some luck. So let's retry one or two more times. Let's see if it is changing anything. Look at the burst all of a sudden here. When the Beast Robo crits, you have insane damage at the end. Look at that. That time it was absolutely different. So it varies, as I told you, depending on your crit numbers, or if you have absolutely nothing, you will have no damage. I tried multiple artifacts, multiple mounts, back accessories and stuff like that, and nothing changed. Nothing was better than using the Beast Robo. Come on, just a bit more burst. And no, so I am so close. This is insane. But it seems like that the Snake Pal is a bit more efficient than the other one in that scenario here. So there is something more that I want to try now. On my souls, want to try to change a few things to see if I can have maybe more damage, and it should work. So let's reduce all of these and put all the points into the combo and boss damage, so I have just a bit more stats. If I can survive, if my clones still survive as long as before, maybe it should work because I will have more damage. And at the start I have a very good damage here, so I can expect to beat him that time. Very nice burst, but only 10 seconds remaining. Come on, 2 seconds left. No, it was a bit worse, but still very close. Alright, let's go! Beat that boss. In fact, I don't really care about beating that boss because it won't give me a huge difference at the end. Like, for the divining path, I will have only 5 more... I don't even remember how they call that. 5 more coins, 5 more spirit things, these things here, Flame of Wisdom. I will have only 5 more per day, which means that I can reroll 1 stat every 2 days, so it's not making a huge difference, right? And the comparison between that boss and the previous one is huge, so if you are stuck on this one, it is alright. It is not game changing to beat that boss, so you don't need to care a lot about that. Just need to be patient, retry daily as I am doing. I'm doing all my attempts daily, and if I can beat the boss, then it's alright. But I have been struggling during the beginning, so I got more stats over time, I'm getting more scrolls that I am farming with the mounts in the parking walls, with the crossover arena. So over time, maybe it's a matter of week, or like in 1 week, maybe I will have just a bit more stats to beat that boss here. So just need to be patient, and then you will beat that boss. Alright? So last try of the video, otherwise it's gonna be boring, I don't have many other things to try. This is basically what I'm showing you, the best results I had with my accounts on that boss here. So I'm gonna redo my tries. Maybe I won't record the victory, but you will have exactly the same build. I will just have more stats if I beat the boss, so I don't care about showing you the victory. You know exactly what I used, alright? So that was all for today's video, guys. Have a really nice day. That was Actar. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.